For Game of Thrones fans, there may be no bigger running joke and no bigger pain than the Winds of Winter. People have been waiting for this book for so long that entire TV franchises have risen, ended, crashed, recovered, and expanded again while fans still ask the same question: where is Winds? But here is the wild part. During all those years, George R.R. Martin has not exactly been sitting still. He has been deeply involved in building more and more Westeros across TV, animation, and now even the stage. So today, let us talk about every major Game of Thrones tie-in and spin-off George R.R. Martin has been involved with, while the Winds of Winter keeps making fans wait. Let us start with the biggest one, because this is the project that proved the franchise could actually survive after the original show ended. House of the Dragon was the first major spin-off to truly make it to the screen, and it was not just inspired by Martin's world, it came straight from his Targaryen history book. More importantly, Martin has repeatedly talked about working with the creative team and being part of shaping these successor shows. So yes, while fans were staring at the calendar waiting for Winds, Martin was also helping keep dragons alive on television. And to be fair, this one worked. The show became a massive hit and reminded everyone that Westeros still had serious power. Then there is A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, which feels like the total opposite of House of the Dragon. No giant war for the throne, no constant dragon chaos, no end-of-the-world energy. This one is smaller, quieter, and way more character-driven. It follows Dunk and Egg, and Martin has made it very clear that these stories are precious to him. He has praised the adaptation, talked openly about how faithful it is, and even said the team really did right by the source material. So while people online were joking that he should lock himself in a room and finish Winds, he was also making sure this softer, more personal corner of Westeros got proper attention. Now let us move to the projects that never felt as public, but were definitely real. 10,000 Ships, the Nymeria series, has been hanging around development for years like one of those mysterious old prophecies in this franchise. Martin confirmed it was moving ahead with scripts at one stage, and it kept refusing to fully die even when updates slowed down. That tells you something important about how HBO and Martin see this world. They are not just interested in dragons and Starks, they want to reach into the deeper history of Westeros too. Nymeria is one of the biggest legendary figures in this universe, so it makes sense that Martin would want that story in the mix. Then we have 9 Voyages, or if you remember its earlier phase, The Sea Snake. This project is one of the clearest examples of Martin staying hands-on with spin-off development while Winds was still unfinished. He talked about it as a live-action show first, with plans centered on Corlys Velaryon's legendary travels. Later, he revealed that it had shifted into animation because doing that giant sea adventure in live action would have been too expensive. Honestly, that change makes sense. Corlys traveled everywhere, and if you are going to show that world properly, animation may actually be the smarter move. Speaking of animation, Martin also pulled back the curtain on the Golden Empire, a project set in Yitai. That matters because Yitai is one of those parts of his world that fans have heard about for years, but never really seen explored in depth on screen. Martin said this was one of the animated projects in motion, and he sounded genuinely excited about what it could become. That means while readers were begging for chapters from the north, he was also helping map out one of the most mysterious regions in the entire Song of Ice and Fire universe. And we cannot ignore Snow. Yes, the Jon Snow sequel. Martin officially confirmed that it was in development back in 2022, and he even said Kit Harington brought the idea to him. That alone made fans lose their minds, because suddenly the franchise was not only going backwards into history, it was also trying to continue after the ending of the original show. Later, that project was shelved, but the key point here is that Martin was involved in it while still writing Winds. So even the sequel idea that did not survive still belongs on this list. And now, the franchise has gone even further. It is heading to the stage with Game of Thrones: The Mad King. This prequel play is officially happening in 2026, and it is another sign that Martin's world keeps expanding into new formats. At this point, Westeros is not just a book series or a TV universe. It is a full storytelling empire. That is what makes this whole situation so fascinating. On one hand, fans are absolutely justified in being frustrated about the Winds of Winter. On the other hand, Martin clearly has not spent these years doing nothing. He has been building, advising, expanding, and protecting different corners of Westeros across multiple projects. So the real question is not whether he has been working. The real question is whether fans would trade half these spin-offs just to finally get that book. And honestly, I think a lot of people already know their answer. So now I want to hear from you. Would you rather get the Winds of Winter tomorrow and lose every future spin-off after that? Or are you happy seeing Westeros keep growing in every direction? Drop your answer in the comments, because this debate is never dying. And if you enjoyed this video, share it with a fellow Game of Thrones fan, subscribe on YouTube, and follow on Facebook for more franchise deep dives like this.